name is Takeo Yamashiro. I am a post-war immigrant coming into Canada on June 9th, 1972, and started working with Tonari Gumi just by chance. So I just came across with people like Jun Hamada. I had a sort of luck to work with him right from the beginning. June came down to a Power Street area and I introduced his project. Then the person called Michiko Sakata already had a small but very, very effective multicultural, multilingual social service agency on Powell called Language Aid. That's where June ended up consulting to work in the community because Michiko had experience already. At the beginning of 1974, I joined actually under his call actually for employees position, and here you go. See, I was pretty new still, 2 years or 3 in Canada, so I didn't really know the system. It's just like, coincidence that I somehow got a job with Tonari Gumi. So I normally was called the program coordinator or actually, something like that. Tonari Gumi was actually the name suggested by some of senior citizens. I came into this country as a musician, instrumentalist. I play Japanese shakuhachi. That's the only job actually I was able to, if I would, actually offer employment. Get employment here, because nothing else I had experience. Then move on to my professional music career. I'm so glad actually that I come to the point, you see here today, after so many years of my retirement. Yeah, Tonari Gumi is alive, and the people coming in for programs or help or whatever. It's great to see, and I thank all the people that support it. Of course, workers, that probably come first, but you need support from the community. And I'm still interested in some of the programs because I always go through to see what's going on at Tonari Gumi. I just applaud people that somehow come into Tonari Gumi or anywhere volunteer agencies to experience, which is very valuable. Particularly when you go through that kind of experience when you were young, I'm sure that enriches you for the rest of your life.
I came to Canada in 1970. Then 1973 started a project called Language Aid. So when I started that, and I was working in a Power Street, one day the man called Jun Hamada walked in. My language aid was helping not only Japanese but Chinese or 8 other ethnic groups. So he said he wanted to start just only help Japanese group. So I knew a man called Takeo Yamashiro, and I thought he'd be perfect. So I introduced Takeo Yamashiro to Jun Hamada. Jun Hamada hired Takeo Yamashiro, and opened Tonari Gumi, which was totally concentrated serving Japanese and Japanese Canadian. And it became a very also social gathering center. And they set up the office nearby my office, so we're always in contact constantly, doing work together. Tonari became a very much happy social center for Japanese Canadian together, young people, older people, and they really enjoy that, senior citizens, and became a very happy center. We always coordinated and worked together, and from the people worked for Tonari Gumi, because we are doing similar work, so a lot of people I was helping, if they needed to go to doctor's office, and I would say, can you take them to doctor, or can you contact office of the government, whatever. And out of everybody's interest in what they wanted to say, that incredible energy happened. It was a small volunteers, a lot of volunteer came, and excitement and helping these senior citizens. Then expanded to Nisei group and younger generation, and their involvement also not only social service, helping sick senior whatever, they did more than that. By introducing Takeo Yamashiro to Jun Hamada, and they started a happy gathering place for senior citizens, and not only senior citizens but all Nisei. Just so many people start hanging around at the center of Tonari Gumi. And from that, excitement and energy and idea came out, which led to redress movement, Power Street Festival, and I think Tonari Gumi's that happy place, gathering place, laid a foundation for the rebirth of the Japanese community and movement.
Hi, my name is Motoko Reed. I've been volunteering this Tonari Gumi since Tonari Gumi started. So it's almost 50 years. When I was early 30s, my children was grown to a grade school, and I left Japan kind of early age, around early 20s. So I realized that I didn't do oyakoko. So then one day I was riding a bus, city bus, and Tonari Gumi, just carpenters and people was building the place. And I read it in Japanese Volunteers Association, Tonari Gumi. So I stopped by, and what is going on, what is going to happen? Whoever walked there explained to me, this is senior citizens. So that's when I started, when it's opened, because it was an empty building. And they built it inside, all carpenters, all volunteer did it. So since then, I started to start with Tonari Gumi's members, which is all seniors. So I thought this is way oyakoko to my parents. That's how I started. I like to talk to elder people, because the elder people has a lot of experience. And also I can learn different kind of area of Japan. I'm from Tokyo, so I can see the country people's dialogue, and I kind of learned cooking stuff, because those days so many fishermen and so many farmers, and those people's experience I like to learn. I enjoyed that learning, and also I was even now I like to cook. That's how I keep going. Was I like 50 years ago, Vancouver, lots of single women and single men. They didn't know social help from Canada government, so they are saving monies to little by little in a very cheap apartment. And so, when we found out people who helps the people, who started is some people skips lunch. So when I saw that, why doing just one particular people sharing meal? Why can't I do everybody who comes to Tonari Gumi? One day I cooked everything from my house, brought everything to Tonari Gumi, and just gave it to them. And they liked it. So that's because I like cooking. I love that people enjoying and appreciated my cooking. For first 6 months, free of charge. Tonari Gumi doesn't have any money. I'm the one all spending on my own money to do groceries and everything. So I cook at home and doing things. Then about 6 months or so, people want to pay something. So I said, okay, whatever you can pay, that's fine. Many people paid 25 cents, some people 50 cents. Then about 1 year later, Mr. Yamashiro Take-san said, we have about $75 savings. He said, you can use this money for grocery shopping. That's how it started. 50 years ago, it was all by myself. I asked somebody volunteer to help me because 50 people's lunch, that's really big. I have so many friends and I have a very good son. He said, when you go to Tonari Gumi, your smile is different from my talking to us. I don't know what it is. You are happy to be there. That's what he said.
My name is Lorena Kiko Tasaka. I don't go by Lorena here because the Japanese people have a hard time with the L and the R in my name, so I go by Kiko. I started at Tonari Gumi about 35 years ago when I was looking for a part-time job, and then I found an ad in the bulletin that there was a part-time job opening, and Takayama Shuro interviewed me. So it was very wonderful that I was able to get this job because I love working with people, especially seniors. So we were on Paul Street, I guess, for about 10, 20 years, and then we moved to East Vancouver, and we're here now. You meet the most wonderful people when you volunteer, because all the people that volunteered were just really wonderful. And this was over 30 years ago. I'm still very, very good friends to this day. And then the people that were young in those days, that was 30 years ago, now they're in their late 80s and 90s. They will still volunteer for us, and myself too. I'm now in my 80s, but I find that I love to work and to volunteer because all my friends are here. Good friends. We had the social club here with all our outings, like we used to do many, many outings. And then we used to have beautiful Japanese lunches here. We even took a few bus trips together. This was a good way to attract more people.
to enjoy each other's company. All the ladies that come here said they come for the socializing, just to be together with us. And we really do have a lot of fun together. You know, none of there's too many rules and regulations. I hate rules and regulations, hate it. So it's nice that we don't have all that, and we just each enjoy each other's company. We've done the best we can up to now. The best we can, you know, because everyone's so dedicated and the staff is so dedicated. We do need to recruit more people, to ask them to come and join us. We have such wonderful programs here, especially for all the seniors, the Nisei or the Sansei people. They would love to come back to the grassroots, speaking Japanese, doing Japanese crafts or eating Japanese food. I think they would love to come here. So it's just a matter of opening up to them and welcoming them or contacting them, I feel, you know. This is a volunteer organization. You meet the most wonderful people when you're volunteering. You know, you attract a very good type of people here, and I've become friends with them for over 30 years now, and we're still friends. And that's what kept me here. Wonderful.
It started back when my grandfather, Motoi Iwanaka, became the first president at the time. I guess it was called the president of the board of Tonari Gumi 50 years ago. Around 2006, a friend of mine had asked me if I was interested in joining the board of Tonari Gumi, and then at the time, a man named Takeo Yamashiro was just leaving, and I got to meet with him, and he knew my grandfather quite well. It was a really good meeting, and he introduced me to what Tonari Gumi was all about. I had heard about it when I was a child, but I didn't really know very much about it, and then he told me more. And it was interesting just to learn more about my grandfather, and he was very involved with the community, and I thought maybe I should try to get back to the community myself. So I joined the board, I think that was in 2006. I stayed on the board, I believe, for at least 6 years, so I think until 2012. During that time, while I was the chair of TG, we hired a man named David Iwasa, who became the executive director here. And through that, I've stayed connected to Tonari Gumi, I'd say mostly because of David. It's a great group of people, always has been, I think, since the 70s when it started till today. There's always been good people. They've always, I think, made an effort to try to keep connected with past either volunteers or directors or staff. Almost all the organizations in the Lower Mainland or Greater Vancouver seem to be lacking either funds. Funding is always a big thing. Finding those funds is difficult. The population is kind of shrinking in that regards, and there's less Japanese couples that are coming over. You might see one individual, but you don't see couples or families coming over as often. A lack of resources in general. It's just kind of scarce, but I understand through that Japanese Canadian Legacies grant that there's a little bit more funding available for different things, and so that's definitely been helping. Overall, I think it's just a lack of resources. If there was some sort of endowment fund that helped some of these organizations, that probably would be a tremendous help, and then all the organizations individually wouldn't have to spend as much time fundraising all the time. That said, some of those fundraising events actually are a lot of fun. They used to do bazaars here, and that was a lot of fun. I don't know if they still do them anymore, but various organizations put on fundraising events, and some of those fundraising events are actually quite a lot of fun, and it's nice to get everybody together. I left the board about 12 years ago, and at the time it felt like, geez, how would they continue on without me? But it's been terrific to see how much it's prospered and grown absolutely without me. In fact, it's been terrific to be able to watch on the sidelines and not have to feel like it's my baby and be so involved anymore. It's everybody. I mean, I never had any doubts that David especially was going to do a terrific job after I left. It's been nice to see how Masako and others have really grown the organization. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like watching your kids grow up.